Hey, Nimbula. Polivinak, everyone. Thank you for joining in today. Noaia and Mauri, happy Rotuma Language Week. To everybody listening in tonight, uh, Fesaitu Solomone is here from the beautiful city of Sales in Auckland, New Zealand. And we've been on this program. Well, she has been my guest for a number of times before, so she's a familiar face on this Talanoa program that I host online. So I'm so happy. She's such a busy lady, and I'm just so happy also marau ni Vaio Mayo Fesaitu to come and just Talanoa with us very briefly. She has a very packed day today and the rest of the week because of the special focus on the Rotuma language. So calling on all our beautiful Rotuma brothers and sisters all over the world who are joining us tonight or maybe joining us later. So very warm greetings to you all. So we'll get the Rako Pacifica to open our session tonight with a beautiful song, and we will start our Talanoa with Fesaitu Solomone. Nakavakalevu and welcome again.
Hapo. Raota uma arotuma, raota uma arotuma, nefu ewo, ne Pacifica. Okia fenga mau, okia fenga ne o I ea fate ela mane a ete, hente ela mane a mase. Tra la 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 la, tra la 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 la, tra la 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 la, tra la 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 la. Mayon extra. Okia fenga mau, okia fenga ne o I ea fate ela mane a ete, hente ela mane a mase. Tra la 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 la, tra la 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 la, tra la 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 la, tra la 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 la. Mayon extra. Raota uma arotuma nefu ewo ne pacifica.
Sa rongo-rongo vinakandina na seri to tokong po, may berto na Rako Pasifika, kota sarangan elon din na yan yung natutoka or Rotuma. Very warm greetings to a wonderful guest who's logging in from Auckland, New Zealand. Meda na bakong bula sarwa na marama ni Rotuma to tokong ko, bula Vinaka Fesaitu Solomone.
Nimbula Vinaka Dr. T, Noaia Mauri tinangach to koa o ekpo is pola tiang isa ho ek mas hunti ira ko hunsi amnek dengan ruin ni mo si os ngasav ni fiang rutomda fayak siya.
Yes, happy Rotuma Language Week to you, my sister. And I'm looking forward to the Rotuma Day, which I know will be celebrated on the 18th, on Saturday. So maybe if you just tell us a little bit about yourself, Fesaitu. I know many people know you already, and you've been on my program a number of times. But maybe for some of our new followers, a little bit about you, which part of Rotuma you're from, what schools did you attend?
Fayak siya. I was just going to say Dr. Tarisi, I was born in Buckingham Palace, but unfortunately, no, it's Buckingham Palace in Rotuma. So yeah, my name is Fesaitu Solomone. I was born on the island of Rotuma. I grew up there for 14 years before migrating to Suva to finish my education in Form 5 to Form 7. And yeah, primary school was definitely started off at Mutusa Primary and then moved to Rotuma High School until Form 4. So I had the opportunity to grow up, as I shared today with many of our the schools that I went to present. The fond memories of growing up on the island as a kid, both in school but also as part of the community and our family. So I'm really blessed to grow up on the island from Mutusa. That's the most beautiful part, was called the city of Rotuma. So if you haven't been to Rotuma, I suggest that you start making your way to the city. But it is what it is. You know, we don't have hotels, Dr. Tarisi. We don't have many of the things that we have here in Aotearoa and also in Fiji. But what we do have there is wealth of knowledge, wealth of love and care. I think the environment is a big thing for me growing up there. So I'm really blessed to actually grow up on the island, as many of our people who moved across globally would have had that opportunity to be born on the island, to be brought up in the island and live a life of freedom. I believe it's the life of not having to worry a single day about what you're going to put on your table for food, because it's always in abundance on the island. So that's what I remember. And not just family, the community, the church, but the people and the things that are around us that we take for granted here, that we have to pay for everything here in Aotearoa. Yeah.
Yan saranga dito todo ko ito. Now, is there any particular memory of you growing up in Rotuma that you'd like to share with us? Maybe something you remember that you may have performed at school or at church, or something that, you know, maybe children of today, our young Rotumans who are listening today may not see quite often in any other part of the world, but only on Rotuma.
Well, one of the things, I think, if we say not in part of the world, is one of the things is the language itself is one that we rarely, across the world, not many people will have that opportunity to hear the language every day. I think that's the beauty of it. growing up both at home in the community. As part of school, we learn the language right from primary until secondary school. So I think that's for me, that's the blessing, is that to grow up in the language and culture right at home, surrounded by a lot of our elders, our knowledge holders, who our master weavers, to actually witness that part growing up in Rotuma was, for me, it's a highlight. Apart from what I shared today, as well as apart from getting the smack at school, being naughty at sometimes, but those are things that today's you look back, it's a highlight for me, because discipline was very much in schools. You know, you don't get away with it. The hose pipe, the stick, the ruler, everything is smacked on your hands, your butt. The dust is thrown to your head. So you kind of got this. This is not something that here in Aotearoa in Fiji it's abuse, but that's discipline for me. I see it as a way. Growing up was a highlight that although we get smacked and get the hiding at school and at home, but it's a way that we've grown with discipline today, that we are very fortunate to be able to be taught in a lot of areas. So culture, language, and then I believe discipline is a big thing for me.
Si Vinaka Wakaliwe, Dina Todoko, discipline is such a very important training, yeah, if we look at it that way, to make us what we are today. Vinaka Wakaliwe for sharing that. So from Rotuma, you came to Fiji. What schools did you attend?
I went to Dudley High School. I was very lucky and fortunate. And I have to say thank you to Mrs. Emily Fatioki, who fought so hard for me to be able, because when I arrived in Fiji, schools are already, as they say, registration's already closed. And so I started, I think, a couple of weeks after school has started. And so I was very lucky to study at Dudley High School. There were a lot of Rotumans there, and from memory, it was a really good school, and I'm really blessed to be part of it. Yeah.
Wow. So to all our ex-Dudley, listening in, Dudley in the house. Vitaka Vakalev, one of the graduates of Dudley is here, and Fesaitu has done so many wonderful things over the years. And our paths crossed at Fiji TV when Fesaitu and I were working together. So maybe very briefly, what role were you doing at Fiji TV or Sky TV at that time?
PGTV in 19, when I left school at Form 7, I was hired to be a trainee presentation director. That's all the programming and the presentation side of things for all the channels. Now, that was back in 1996. That was when Fiji TV was firstly set up as a partnership between TVNZ, who owned 51% shares, and Fiji TV. Fiji television was really new at that time, so I was quite passionate because I loved watching TV. It was something new. So there was two offers of one as an accountant, as a junior accountant at Lee's Breakfast Cracker, Lee's factory. I decided to take Fiji TV role, and so that's how I started. And I delved into production and a whole lot of work, eventually leading the team in terms of programming. Before moving to Sky TV here for a contract work in 2006. Yeah.
Wow, the Toka, man, look at that, eh? From Rotuma to Turaki in Dudley, and then all the way down to Gorrie Street, eh? If I still remember where Fiji TV was at that time. And then you start to trek across the ocean all the way to Aotearoa. So what motivated you to come over to New Zealand?
And that's a really good one. Yes, there's a lot of motivation. One was when Moana left to come to New Zealand. I never wanted to leave Fiji, but it was through that you had to tussle between relationship, whether it's going to work or not. And I decided to apply to Sky TV if there was any role available at that time. And perfect timing indeed. I worked for television, and I did everything that I wanted to do for 10 years. But yeah, I decided to give it a shot, and fortunately, Prime TV was newly bought by Sky TV at that time, and they wanted me to come over for an interview. I have never left Fiji. I've never traveled outside internationally as well. And so this was my first big trip ever to secretly leave Fiji TV and tell the team that I was on going for a leave. Never told them that I was going to New Zealand until I had my interview, went back, and they told me that, hey, if you wanted a job here, there's something coming up for Prime. We've got you a reference, because they wanted me to start in December that year in 2005. Unfortunately, because I was looking after everything at Fiji TV, um, and the CE and our leadership, some of them have gone on leave. So hence the reason why it started off with Moana moving away and then making a big decision to leave. It was a tough one, but it was a good one. And I think it was the best decision I ever made, was to come to New Zealand. And I think God has his purpose. So it's led me to where it is today in terms of Aotearoa.
And I know we are celebrating a very special week this week. You know, you mentioned language is something that you are very proud of, and you were very fortunate and blessed to be immersed in the language and culture on the island of Rotuma. And now you in Aotearoa celebrating this week, but not only celebrating, but leading this very special organization that you are part of now. Maybe just tell us a little bit about the organization that you work for now, and then we can talk about the Language Week.
So Vinaka, Dr. T. Center for Pacific Languages is one place that I was really passionate, and I know, Dr. T, we were connected through that as well, and your work to support, help support take the Rotuman language to PEC at that time and rebranded to Center for Pacific Languages in 2022. One of the key things for the Center for Pacific Languages is we're not only doing the Rotuman language, we're looking after 9 Pacific languages in line with the Ministry for Pacific's people, and they work in the Language Week spaces for all of our communities. So leading that space in revitalization of our languages, the journey of our people continuing, or even looking to find their identity, is where our work is very much focused on that. We also do a lot of translation work in the space, as well as the cultural competency to help support our organizations. And the work that we do is we've got a big team, a whole team that looks after that space. We are looking in terms of what the future looks like for Center for Pacific Languages. The work's going to grow. The ministry has just added 2 languages, which is PNG and Solomon, 2 of the Pacific language regions. So we're looking forward to working alongside that and supporting. But yeah, the Center for Pacific Languages, we want to see it grow and thrive more. The demand, as I have to say, has continued to grow for Center for Pacific Languages in terms of global, but also within Aotearoa itself. Our work seems to be, we are trying to meet the demand, because the demand every term that we teach the language across 3 terms for 10 weeks for 2 hours, it seems to have increased every term. So it's a work that is much needed in the space for our people, not just for Rotuma, but across our Pacific regions.
Wow, man, congratulations, Fesaitu, for the work that you do. And it's amazing. Yeah, the shift from PEC, Pacific Education Center, to the Center for Pacific Languages. And now it's included the Pigeon, right, from Papua New Guinea and the Solomon Islands. Wow, to talk about it, level New Zealand, level to the government of New Zealand for recognizing the importance of Pacific languages, and we're so proud to have many of our languages represented. But then, when you think about it, Rotuma, the smallest island of the whole Oceania, is leading the celebration of the Pacific Week, and that is all the language weeks from the Pacific. So with Nakawaka Levu, again, to the Ministry for Pacific Peoples for recognizing Rotuma, and we're so happy. You know, now you have a radio station, and now you also have you as a Rotuman leading the Center for Pacific Languages. Congratulations to you, Fesaitu. Now for the week. Would you like to tell us the theme? Is there a particular theme that is being used for this year?
Definitely. The theme has been there for a couple of years now, since the last 2 years, I believe. It's Vetokia os Whainga Maang Whakhanua. So that theme, I have to acknowledge the leadership of our Rotuman community organizations and groups across Aotearoa, from Christchurch to our families as well, Wellington, here in Auckland as well. A number of them are leading the way in terms of the planning, and leading the events throughout Aotearoa as well as Auckland. So I have to take off my hat for them for the amazing work that they've been doing over the years since 2018. They've been part of that before the ministry acknowledged the Language Week officially under the umbrella. But the work for our Rotuman communities have started way before, when they first settled here through the New Zealand Rotuman Fellowship. All of our elders and those who have passed on, I have to take my hat off for them. The Rotuman language as a language week or a language community has already started for years, well before I came here to Aotearoa. So now that it's official under the umbrella, we have to your point, acknowledge the Ministry for Pacific's people for their role in ensuring that our Rotuman language get included in that lineup. Also, not for people who are listening and asking why, it's because our Rotuman language has been listed as vulnerable and moving to an endangered space if we don't action since 2010, 2011. So that's way back. And so the work for Rotuman communities here is to ensure that the languages continue to thrive. So I have to acknowledge everybody who worked in the space. Everyone's playing their part. But yeah, the work that continues every year for planning and supporting of our young people for the future is amazing throughout Aotearoa. And I have to say thank you for Yaxia.
Se Vinaka Vakalevu. Wonderful as well to see that, Aotearoa and New Zealand is leading the
Mm.
celebration of this very special week. Is there any plans for the celebration on Rotuma itself? And what about Fiji?
Yeah, definitely. I know that Rotuma Day would have celebrated in Rotuma as well. Fiji, there's Katoanga. They've had a celebration today. I've seen it online where they've had it live on Facebook. So the Fiji Rotuma Association has celebrated today as well. I think it's a public holiday, Kirmit Day in Fiji. And this Katoanga is planned, I think, for the wider community in terms of Saturday in Fiji. Here in Aotearoa as well, all of our groups have got events happening everywhere as well, every day, presenting and having events across from Christchurch to our children to Wellington and also Auckland. Also, our churches as well, they are doing their part as well in supporting the Language Week. So that's what I'm really proud of. Yeah.
Sa Vinaka Vakalevu. And to all our Rotumans also in Australia, in England, and here in America, I think I saw a poster that was shared around. I think there was an event here in California yesterday. So yeah, the Rotumans are making noise everywhere, which is really
Yes.
nice. And I keep hearing the word feke being
Mhm.
mentioned everywhere. So Vinaka Vakalevu to everybody that been making this beautiful, dessert that Rotuma is known for. So that's great to hear it too, that Fiji also has a celebration as well as on the island. Now for this week, is there any particular event that you're going to be part of this week that you would like to highlight?
Yeah, I just want to highlight the program. I know the Ministry for Pacific's people have got some programs here in terms of the week tomorrow. Our New Zealand Rotuma and Mauri collaboration with the University of Auckland is happening as well at around 5 p.m. At the campus from our Mauri group. The museum also have a Twilight Tuesday for Rotuma Language Week with Mere Taito, poetry and her PhD research. And just to say congratulations to her as a Rotuman, graduating with a PhD here in Aotearoa, so acknowledging her work as well. So poetry will be there at the museum, plus the University of Auckland collaboration with Moironi on Wednesday. Also, Moironi has got a collaboration with Te Puke Tara, the Otara Library. At 10:30 Thursday, there's another collaboration. There's a whole musical tautonga and hafa presented at the museum at 1 p.m. Yeah, so unfortunately, I've booked out at this times in terms of attendance, as I've got engagements for speaking on Rotuma Language Week and the work for the Center for Pacific Languages. Friday, there's also an event by the Kingsland Rotuman Church, Trinity Church as well. They've got a bouncy castle, a bouncy event, family fun night on Friday, and Saturday is a Katoanga closing as well. I believe Porirua has got a 2 p.m. Event for Wellington and 10 a.m. for Katoanga Day for Maironi at Marceline College. So yeah, there's a couple of events. Christchurch Group, I believe, have got their own events happening. And we all, I think a lot of our communities and our people are representing organizations in speaking engagements across the government, but also across organizations that are asking for support from council, local government to central, to also our communities and NGOs. So everyone's playing a part this year. I've seen a lot of resources come out, a lot of, and PMN Rotuma, I have to highlight, PMN Rotuma is covering also Fiji Live, the Katoanga today, but also Saturday with Alfie and Chochi. So acknowledging them with the PMN space. There's lots of content floating around. But yeah, whichever one you hit, the in terms of Facebook, social media, there's a lot of our Rotumans taking part across the world. So acknowledgement to PMN Rotuma as well. So thank you for Yexia.
To talk about it, man, there's lots and lots of events taking place all across New Zealand. Now, for you, Fesaitu, with your role as CEO of the Center for Pacific Languages, why is the Rotuma Language Week important for your people?
It is really, really important. I can't stress it enough how crucial it is for our people. One is that our language, we have to not look back, but look forward to what's going to happen if we don't participate in the space. The importance of promoting our language as Rotumans is because of the vulnerability, but the risk that in the future we're a very small population. The intermarriages in a lot of our people will mean that the language will potentially, as it weaves into intermarriages, different races, different identities, people will start to forget about our language. The other part too is that English has become a dominant space in terms of pushing. And I look across Aotearoa as well. English has become a really dominant space in terms of our language. Our Rotuman language is too small. We only have a very small population here in Aotearoa. Since 2018 census, is only 981. We can look now, there may be more migration and probably will hit the 1,000 mark. But for us as a small community from a small island, we are very vulnerable and are moving to a space that our language could be endangered. So it's understanding the value of our language and the gift that we've been given. And I speak highly of this is because two things that we can never choose is to be born into a family, to born into your parents. You can never choose the identity or the language or the culture you're born into. But what we can choose today is to embrace it and value it. And so that's, I see it as I say to everybody, it's a gift. We see that as our languages across not just Rotuman, but everyone, that our languages are a gift. And so the ability to recognize in a space, we are fighting and tussling with many of the dominant languages across here in Aotearoa. So for us Rotumans is that everybody needs to work together. We are the custodians of our language. We are the leaders for the future, for the next generation, for our young people, to encourage them never to lose sight of who you are, your identity, your language. And I want to echo what the former Honorable Minister, our Peter, always says, never leave your language and who you are and your identity at the door. Always walk with it. And so no matter where you walk in, is to walk with pride, be proud of who you are, walk with your whole self. Don't leave. As soon as you walk into the office, you change from a Rotuman to hello, and everything changes. So always walk with, I always acknowledge people first now as Noaia Mauri or Noaia. And then you say hello in the other languages or whatever you feel good. And so that's why I want to say for our Rotuman community, our people, continue the journey of our language, continue to embrace who you are in the space. Never be afraid and never even be shy of your identity, because that makes a whole lot of difference when you walk high and tall.
Vinaka for those beautiful words. A wonderful reminder of how
Mm.
special the island of Rotuma is, and for the people of Rotuma to be proud of their heritage and their identity. Now, in terms of keeping the language alive, I know this week will be celebrated. We started yesterday and now continuing till Saturday. We're looking at things beyond the week, I'm talking about resources and books and digital resources too. I know you've been working hard behind the scene, and there will be a launch, I think, coming up soon. Is it okay to share a little bit, just a little snippet of what you've been doing in the space of technology and keeping the Rotuma language alive?
Yeah, definitely. The work that I do, that was work that was done historically. We've positioned in a way that every year we launch, I always try and launch something with our digital resource. And I work alongside, the Pacific Kids Learning, and they work a lot to do with our children content and what can we give for our communities. And so the work that I do in terms of Fupu Rutuma was just a collaboration of a community story. I know I'm looking forward to yours. What does it look like in the space? So that's definitely the digital resources post, the work that we do. I mean, the language continues and we have to see it that way. But I always remind myself that every year, what can you drop for our Rutuman language? Resources is a big thing. Digital content will be a major work, not just for CPL, but for our Rutuman language space, all of our other communities. So it's definitely, I want to share that because that was a story. I've already gifted one as well to Pacific Kids Learning on a very interesting but very humorous story that will probably, I don't know when they're going to showcase that. But Fupue Rutuma is a community story that I wanted to share growing up in Rutuma. And so that's the resource that they've currently working on. I'm working on something for next year as well, and hopefully we'll be able to launch it. So that's my contribution every year, not just with the book last year, but the digital resources for our children. We're looking at adult content. How does it look like for us to present it for next year? So I'm definitely looking forward. It will be lots of planning. So all of that work was done last year in preparation for this year. And so this year's work is started already, and we're focusing to deliver for next year. So that's my way of contributing and remembering the continuous work of our Rutuman language, that everybody can be part of it, collaborating together or working on your own. Always good, because I always see the value of partnership and working in collaboration. So yeah, really proud to be part of a smaller contribution to the Rutuman community.
Vinaka Vakalewa, and yeah, acknowledging Pacific Kids Learning. That's another organization that I think we all encourage to find and go to their website. Also, search for them on Facebook, Pacific Kids Learning. Acknowledging our sister from Samoa, Teresa, who is the director of this program, an amazing woman, very super organized, working usually 6 months to a year ahead of time. Wow, isn't that amazing? So it's wonderful to see that Rotumans are in the space of academia. We've got Professor Vinsonia Renico, Dr. Letila Mitchell, and now Dr. Meritaito, and I'm sure there's others as well in the lineup. And yeah, we're very, very proud of all the achievements made by Rotumans. So, in terms of resources for our listeners, there are books that are out there for our children. There's poetry tomorrow at the Auckland Museum. And now, Fesaitu is talking about digital storytelling. Yeah, so there's potential for filmmakers, for writers, for artists. So, anybody that is listening that has talent in those areas, please talk to Fesaitu. Because the future is very bright in this space. So we need people who are creators and creative writers to come into this space to create more resources so we can keep the Rotuma language alive. Wow. Yes, Fisaitu, I know you've got a big program in front of you and the whole of this week. Before we finish our Talanoa, I'll give it back to you to maybe speak in your language, to maybe leave something, a word of encouragement to our listeners tonight.
Correct, Vinaka Vakalivu, Dr. Tarisi, and thank you for the opportunity you've given me. I'm just going to say a few words in Rotuma to thank our community. Sitting nga tu tu ko o e ka ti pau se o se re ko hun se nga rue tu 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 ko ni o sa so ke ti ni ava se sfiang Rotum ta ti se sti mamfua os nga chohin os nga fa os le riri ha harong i te pema ni nā risave la lone ngā safti me ti ni av tu tu ko la so ko ki as fiang Rotum ta os ang whakanua ka tape me lahe oke ni isfa me Rotuma lo me ot mot me te Rotuma. A te fiang luke de lang ni ave te le nasi tin istu tu ko se mau ek os fiang Rotum ta i te ni av tu tu ko e re ku hunsi os mea is leo me te utut ni te ronti i mamor pauses fiangta on la ufit il long ni renti ata kwa matei wo exi os tu tu ko ka ti se omus hanisi se os ot moti Rotuma la ngat makia o siksi re astos ot muta katape me se ngarue na stemam fu kamatsin matifakanisit ni nga nasin te fiang luke tu pola nai la long ni afitis o wakatina os tu tu ko ni no ha foi me la long ni afiti foi exia Vinaka Vakalivu, Dr. T, just acknowledging our people for the wonderful work that they continue. We remember those who have passed, our elders, our leaders in our communities, our churches, our families, and the generation here we now and what the future looks like for our language, our Fiang Rotomda. So Vinaka Vakalivu for always giving me a platform to speak and talanoa about our Fiang Rotomda, but more importantly, our work and our passion for our people. Fayexia.
Yes, Foexia Fesaitu Vinaka Vakalevu, all the very best for your work and all the program this week. I will be following things online and sharing it on my page as well. And wish you all the best, along to you and Moana. And we'll see you again, maybe another time when we talk about our digital storytelling, when you're going to look at the Fijian story that I've written as well. So Vinaka Vakalevu itu.
Naka. Lolomayani, domode.
Naka Mwade. Sa totoka. Nakavakalevo to everybody who has been listening to me and Fesaitu. She's logging in from the beautiful city of Sales in Auckland, New Zealand. Greeting those who are joining in from Japan. Master Le, thank you for your support and listening in from Asia. Greeting those who are logging in from the UK and the US, Australia, New Zealand, and of course, those who are connecting in from Fiji. To all our Rotuman brothers and sisters, Vinaka Vakalevu, for celebrating and remembering your heritage, your language, and your beautiful culture. Vavili Vinaka Tika Ningo, Vakumbuli Sartiku Vakalevu, Marama Honorable Marietta Ringamoto, Vinaka Vakalevu, Nasema Tiku Mainabua, and the Sinu Vinaka Nikua. So Alfie Prasad, Kay Chochi, Vinaka for all the wonderful work you do for PMN Rotuma. So that's it for us for tonight. What a wonderful week we have in front of us. So if you are in Auckland, Wellington, I think I heard Porirua mentioned, also in Christchurch. So wherever you are this week, find any of the programs that you can find online. Check out the Auckland Museum programs too. Also the Center for Pacific Languages, go to their Facebook page. I'm sure they will have all the program for this week and just go and support. And also for those of us who are listening too, we can maybe speak some Rotuman words. Isn't that beautiful to hear Fesaitu speak in that beautiful Rotuman language? I can listen to her for hours. So that is wonderful. Vinaka Vakalevu. If we can feature some Rotuman language, some phrases that you can find online, share it out, and let's celebrate. The more we see Rotuman language and music and food and culture this week, the more the merrier. Okay, nakavakalevu to everybody. Nakavakalevu for all your continuous support. And tomorrow and Wednesday, I think I've got two speakers that I've got lined up from Rotuma. So if we have three this week, that'll be great. Just to hear their stories and yeah, just to celebrate a little bit of Rotuma wherever you are living in. Eh? Nakavakalevu Sara to our wonderful guest, Fesaitu Solomone. I know she's a very, very busy lady, but when she said yes to me to come in for a quick talanoa, I was over the moon. Vinaka. And there's someone I can see online here, Sela Manueli, my sister Sela. Sela, Noaia, Mauri, Vinaka for joining in. I hope Takalengau is well, and I say send my greetings to both of you as well as the girls. Vavini Vinaka, vi sela ni siya matikumeni ko. O sa vamo den vi kemuni, nakabale mo na no muni bakro matikumeni ko. Doang na bisao, my next guest has requested that I move our Talanoa to tomorrow. So you can go and relax now and maybe find out what the program for Rotuma this week, and then we can join John and Ronnie Masi tomorrow at 7 p.m. Canberra time. Nakavakalevu, au savakamoneani, ni mwana manda. Oexia.